Well, hi, everyone. Welcome to Boston. In fact, welcome to Boston Common. Yet another Saturday night, and the Maple Leafs are on the road. Paul Hendrick alongside the voice of the hockey club, Joe Bowen, and an opportunity, Joe, in the proverbial 4-point sense to extend their lead in the division over 8 by Boston. I'm not sure if we're going to see a repeat of what we saw last night, but never easy to win a game in this building as successful as the Leafs were last year.
They're on a roll against the Bruins, and that in itself is a remarkable kind of a situation. But I would imagine we're going to see a lot of the same. I don't think Boston can kind of open things up, especially with the number of injuries that they have. Over 65 games lost in losses now. I think we're going to see them try to play a very controlled type of hockey game and try and keep it close, much the way it was last night. And the Leafs were able to, fortunately, get a tie late in the game and then win it in overtime. So having said that, I think it'll be another tight checking, and I think this is what Mike Babcock is looking forward to as well. Let's try to win some games the way you have to win games when the games are tough, and that's later on in the season, and to do it now is a good practice.
Austin Matthews did not make the trip with the hockey club, but Joe, the club is 2-0, and I think it speaks depths of the club's depth right now in terms of getting the job done without Austin, and hopefully he's going to be ready to go when New Jersey comes to Toronto next week, but so far so good without number 34.
Well, and the other aspect is some people who have been struggling are finding their game a little bit, and I thought that Mitch Marner played very, very well last night and obviously was instrumental in the game-winning goal and picked up another assist as well. So if he gets his confidence going a little bit more, he scored the big goal in the shootout, so I think that he's starting to come around, and it'd be nice to see him throw a couple into the back of the net, but his creativity is still a very integral part of this team, especially on the power play.
Toughest job perhaps is that of the backup goaltender, and Curtis McElhinney will get the start against Tuukka Rask here tonight, and for Curtis, just his third start, and going back to the preseason, it's in about 6 weeks' time, so it's going to be a challenge for him.
Yeah, and you know, I know that they have announced that, and I know Mike Babcock is going to go with that, but when you consider that the Leafs don't play again until Thursday, and the way Frederik Andersen's season has gone, he's now on a bit of a roll and playing well. I would have been not surprised if that decision had been held off and then allowed him to play again tonight. But having said that, the Bruins decided to have their #1 guy play the second half of the back-to-back because the game is at home, and so it'll be Curtis McElhinney's duty to keep this team in the game because Tuukka Rask has been a Leaf killer ever since we traded him.
Yes, 15-5-2 head-to-head historically against Toronto, but Tuukka has struggled as of late as well. So the Leafs hoping that trend continues here tonight. Game time on CBC's Hockey Night in Canada is 7 o'clock. Joe and Jim will have the call on TSN 1050 Toronto as well, and our coverage on Leafs Nation Network will begin at 6 o'clock. So our pregame show starts. It's Molson Canadian Leafs Game Day. So long from Boston, Joe and I will see you later tonight.